I am the wicked supporting character, but I have chosen to abandon my role. The reason is simple. I am afflicted with prosopagnosia. In my household, there are 5 children, one male protagonist, one antagonist, one male supporting character, one female protagonist, and one female supporting character. The plot dictates that I should favor the female supporting character, suppress the female protagonist, torment the antagonist, and dote on the male protagonist, ideally ignoring the male supporting character entirely. I gaze at the 5 little ones, who appear indistinguishable to me, lost in contemplation. You are a pivotal antagonist in the narrative. Deviating from the script will lead to the collapse of the world. I glance at the tome before me, an encyclopedia that answers every query, and after much deliberation, I resolve to make an effort. Who is the male protagonist? The cutest one, with the largest eyes and the reddest lips. And what is his name? Unknown. Who is the female protagonist? The most beautiful one, a lovely young girl with a heart-shaped face and almond-shaped eyes. And what is her name? Unknown. After several rounds of questioning, I glean nothing but useless descriptions of their appearances. With a blank expression, I declare, very well, let's embrace destruction together. Thus begins my descent into apathy. 01. My character archetype is that of the quintessential vicious female supporting character in a novel. Fair-skinned and beautiful, though I remain unaware of my own appearance, and affluent, a revelation that recently dawned upon me. I am disinterested in others, primarily due to my inability to recognize faces. In truth, my parents passed away early, leaving my 2 brothers and me, each bearing our own peculiarities. My elder brother, overflowing with compassion, adopted 5 children, and upon his untimely death, entrusted them all to me. My second brother, disdainful of the mundane, joined the Shaolin Temple on the day of his college entrance examination and has since risen to the esteemed rank of master, earning a substantial monthly income. As for me, I am inherently prosopagnostick. Throughout my life, I have struggled to recognize even my elder and second brothers, relying solely on voices to identify them. I specifically moved into my elder brother's home to care for these 5 children. He had only recently adopted them, and they are all quite well behaved, standing before me in timid silence. I have heard their self-introductions and ponder. I am Hichingchio, you may call me. I nearly utter sister, considering I have only just turned 18. However, they all refer to my nearly 30-year-old brother as uncle. I just call me aunt. In truth, according to the law, I am unable to adopt them. My eternally single elder brother cannot either. Yet, it is said that the wondrous power of narrative has mended all, and thus, as a freshly minted university student, I am reluctantly thrust into the role of caregiver. The encyclopedia initially incessantly urged me to adhere to the plot, but I feigned ignorance. While I do not consider myself a virtuous person, the notion of mistreating children is beyond my capabilities, especially since I have no idea who the male protagonist or female protagonist is. I have grown weary of following the plot. If destruction is to be our fate, so be it. Even annihilation will not cure my prosopagnosia, revealing the futility of adhering to this narrative. 3 little boys, one named Zhuangyu, another He Yang, and the third Su Rutu. 2 little girls, one named Lin Miao Miao and the other Song Ke. I observe them closely, unable to discern how these innocent children, who call me aunt, could possibly evolve into twisted antagonists or domineering supporting characters. After all, they are incredibly well behaved, and even someone as emotionally stunted as I am finds it impossible not to grow fond of them, beginning to genuinely care for their well-being. Previously, the children attended an orphanage, but after adopting them, I enrolled them in a primary school conveniently located near my home. I even purchased a van, akin to a kindergarten shuttle, to transport them daily. Occasionally, when matters arise at school, the instructors express understanding of my predicament, patting my shoulder and remarking, "You are doing a commendable job caring for 5 younger siblings." Xiaohe, did I maintain my composure, replying smoothly, "Indeed, one of the children has a fever, and I must take him to the hospital." In truth, they are all at home, diligently completing their homework. Yet, ever since I discovered that this excuse is infallible for skipping class, the 5 children frequently find themselves hospitalized in my conversations. I occasionally experience a fleeting moment of guilt. Adults can be quite deceitful, but the next time, I will inevitably resort to this convenient excuse once more. Such is the nature of adult duplicity. My elder brother's home is exquisitely arranged. I refrained from disturbing his room and merely transformed the guest room into my own sanctuary. I engaged a maid to prepare our daily meals and to maintain cleanliness. Each day, they would diligently complete their homework at the table while I indulged in video games beside them. In the midst of my gaming, A young boy approached me and inquired, "Annie, do you need assistance?" I blinked. "Little you, have you finished your homework?" "Oh no, Auntie, you've mistaken me again." The boy, fervently scribbling at the table, looked up in protest. "I am Zhuangyu, and he is Su Ru too." "Oh," I readily acquiesced, correcting my error. "Rabbit, have you completed your homework?" Su Ru too softly replied with a nod, settling beside me. "I have prepared for the exam the day after tomorrow." Su Ru too is the most academically gifted among the 5 children. Though he is not very talkative, he is well-behaved and obedient. "Do you know how to play Honor of Kings?" I asked. Su Ru too nodded, yes. With enthusiasm, I handed him my phone, "Play a match, and let me watch." "All right," he replied softly, and soon he was skillfully maneuvering my level 110 Diaochan, wreaking havoc on the battlefield. The more I observed, the more astonished I became, my eyes widening in disbelief. Indeed, elementary school students are formidable players in Honor of Kings. It is truly terrifying. Just as I was engrossed in the spectacle, a little girl scampered over and nestled beside me, clinging to my waist. "Annie, you're being partial." "I finished my homework too. Please play with me." I tentatively asked. "Meow meow?" "Yes." Upon hearing my recognition, the little girl beamed with delight, lifting her face to smile at me. The other little girl was much quieter. She offered me an orange, holding it to my lips. "Auntie, eat." "Thank you, Xiaokei. You should also have some." I gratefully accepted the offering from the adorable child and addressed the 2 boys still at the table. "It's nearly 9. If you don't finish soon, you won't be able to watch the movie with us." "Aha!" Zhuangyu exclaimed in exasperation. "This is too difficult." The other boy, He Yang, scoffed impatiently, tugging a paper towards me. "I've finished. This quiz needs a parent's signature." I gazed at the glaring 100 on the paper. 100? How impressive, Xiaoyang. Su Ru too, who was still engaged in the game, momentarily paused. The 2 little girls beside me also halted. "This quiz needs a signature? Surely not." "All right. He Yang, you just want Annie to praise you for your 100, right?" He Yang immediately snatched back the crumpled test paper. "I don't. It's all right." "Xiaoyang is indeed very capable," I said, accustomed to the scene, gently ruffling He Yang's hair. "Come over and watch the movie with us." He Yang promptly fell silent, obediently fetching a small stool to sit beside me. Su Ru too had just finished another match, and I marveled at the remarkable data displayed on the screen, utterly impressed. "Rabbit, how about you help me reach the rank of king during the summer vacation? I will pay you with stars." "Sure, but I don't want money," Su Ru too replied. "I can also play with Andy." "Xiaokei, and I can play with Annie too." Lin Miao Miao tightened her grip on my arm. "Annie, I also scored 100 this time." "Our family's little academic prodigies," I said, accustomed to their achievements, patting each child's head in turn, "are all very impressive. Only I didn't score 100. Zhuangyu finally finished his homework, walking over with a downcast expression, his tone plaintive. "Andy, you don't think I'm dumb, do you?" "Of course not," I reassured him. "At the last parent-teacher meeting, the teacher praised you for being smart. Scores are not everything." The children fell silent for a collective 5 seconds. "Auntie, next week is the parent-teacher meeting." Song K tugged at my sleeve. "Which seat do you plan to sit in?" 5 pairs of eyes suddenly focused on me. I pondered for a few seconds and decided to pass the dilemma back to them. "You all can decide." Most parents tend to favor certain children, but I am different. I treat them all equally. After all, as their aunt, I can hardly distinguish their faces. Thus I am incapable of favoritism. If there is a problem I cannot resolve, let the children figure it out themselves. Adults can indeed be quite lazy. In that case, with no one speaking, Zhuangyu surveyed the room and cautiously suggested, "It seems we must resort to that method." "I disagree." Song K, who had been quiet, reacted vehemently. "That won't do." "I also disagree." He Yang stood up in frustration. "I refuse to play rock, paper, scissors." "Rock, paper, scissors? You two have never won, have you?" Lin Miao Miao suddenly realized, but in the next moment, her tone shifted. "Then let's use that." "That's unfair." "Rock, paper, scissors is the fairest of all. How is it unfair?" Seeing the little ones about to argue, I promptly intervened to calm their emotions. "How about we draw lots?" Auntie said to draw lots, so we shall draw lots. Su Ru too, who had remained silent, spoke up. "I have no objections." "I have no objections either. I will listen to Auntie." "I will listen to Auntie as well." The 5 little ones obediently stood before me once more. Though I could not distinguish one from another, it did not hinder my realization of just how adorable they are. I truly wonder where my elder brother found such delightful children. As I pondered this while ruffling their heads, I ultimately decided to take matters into my own hands and called the homeroom teacher. In this world, I am never short of financial means. Thus, on the day of the parent-teacher meeting, I found myself seated beside a large desk specially arranged for me by the teacher, with the 5 children gathered around me. The surrounding parents cast curious glances, yet I remained unfazed. The atmosphere of a primary school parent-teacher meeting is quite relaxed. The teacher emphasized discipline and study habits. I listened attentively, taking notes while also glancing at the test papers on the desk. They had just completed their midterm exams, and all 5 children performed exceptionally well. True academic stars, with no fewer than 8 or 9 papers scoring 100 in front of me, while the rest were all in the 90s. Moreover, each time the teacher called out names for praise, I could hear my children's names mentioned. Good classroom discipline, excellent study habits, polite and well-behaved, high homework accuracy, and well-rounded development in moral, intellectual, physical, aesthetic, and labor education. The teacher's praise flowed smoothly, and I felt a sense of elation. Noticing the change in the surrounding parents' gazes from curiosity to envy, I straightened my back. Having just turned an adult, I was already experiencing the joy of nurturing children. You all did exceptionally well, I whispered to the 5 children while the teacher distributed medical insurance forms. How about we go out for a grand dinner tonight? And visit the amusement park this weekend? The 5 children, in turn, lowered their voices to ask me, can we have KFC? I responded with an okay hand gesture. Let's order a family bucket. After the parent-teacher meeting concluded, I took them to KFC and treated them to ice cream, which they were usually not allowed to indulge in. Annie is so kind. Thank you, Auntie. The children politely lined up before me, then sat down to enjoy their chicken nuggets. Suddenly, Zhuangyu raised his little hand. Auntie, I have a question. I turned to look at him, momentarily failing to recognize who he was, blinking in confusion. It's me, little you, Annie, he said as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Extending his chubby little hand, I drew a little goldfish on my hand. The art teacher helped me with it, so you won't mistake me again. I have one too. Once again, a delicate little hand reached out, cradling a small kitten. The little girl exclaimed joyfully, I am a little kitten, Auntie. Meow meow? I inquired, meow. We are all little animals. I want to be a little animal too. Lin Meow Meow shook her hand, declaring Meow Meow is a cat. The other 3 children extended their hands to reveal small animals on their palms, a bird, a lamb, and a rabbit. Our family truly is an animal kingdom. I couldn't help but chuckle. So, am I the caretaker? Auntie is just Auntie, Su Rutu replied earnestly. Auntie can be whatever she wishes. Ah, indeed. When it comes to sweet words, nothing compares to the charm of primary school children. I must admit, I was enchanted by their affection. So, I treated the children to an additional box of egg tarts. Annie, are we really going to the amusement park this weekend? Zhuangyu continued her questioning. When have I ever deceived you? I replied, it's that newly opened fairy tale town, but you all will decide what to play. I shall merely accompany you. Children will be children. Even the usually taciturn Song Kei and Su Rutu burst into cheerful cheers. In truth, when I first adopted them, they were not as lively as they are now. Even Lin Meow Meow and Zhuangyu would cautiously inquire if I needed assistance with anything. These tiny tots were so understanding it was heart-wrenching. Even when they stumbled, they would remain silent, and no matter what I did, even the smallest of gestures, their first reaction was always to look up and earnestly say, thank you, Auntie. Fortunately, after nurturing them for over 6 months, they have finally begun to exhibit the delightful characteristics of children. I must say, this has been an immensely gratifying experience. On the weekend, I drove the children to the fairy tale town. Just as I parked the car and stepped out, I was greeted by the sight of them lined up before me, each holding a different colored leash. I thought to myself, I recognized these as leashes, designed to prevent children from getting lost. However, I wasn't particularly concerned about their safety. Having spent time in an orphanage, they possessed a heightened awareness of safety and generally traveled in groups. With 5 children standing together, the likelihood of someone abducting them was virtually non-existent. So, did they buy these out of fear of getting lost? While I was still pondering, Song Kei, adorned with a drawing of a plump little bird on his hand, stepped forward as their temporary leader. Although we will stay closely beside Auntie, he explained earnestly, Auntie does not know our faces, and to prevent any unscrupulous individuals from impersonating us and leading Auntie away, we prepared these. I was taken aback. They were worried about me getting lost. But Annie only has 2 hands, and one of them is needed for her own tasks. Another leader, Su Rutu, chimed in. So, we have arranged a duty roster. From 8 to 10 o'clock, I will hold on to Auntie. I gazed at the earnest expressions on the children's faces. both amused and touched, and extended my hand. All right then, I entrust my care to the rabbit before 10 o'clock. Su Ruta nodded seriously and tied the white leash around my hand. A peculiar thought crossed my mind. Thankfully, they had not considered tying all 5 of themselves to me. Otherwise, I would indeed resemble the man selling balloons at the amusement park entrance. Before arriving at the fairy tale town, I provided them with 5 maps, allowing them to plan their own routes and activities. I am not afraid of heights and do not mind thrilling rides, but the children evidently relished them. Even Lin Meow Meow, who had hesitated before riding the roller coaster, was captivated by the sensation of soaring through the air. Whoa! Auntie, Zhuangyu exclaimed excitedly. I feel like I'm about to fly. Lin Meow Meow's cheeks flushed with excitement. Does Annie enjoy it? I do, I replied, pinching her cheek. What else do you want to play? Our next destination, Song K pointed at the map, is the haunted house. This genuinely surprised me. The haunted house? I confirmed with them. Aren't you afraid? I'm not scared, Zhuangyu shrugged nonchalantly. They're not real ghosts. Why be afraid? Is Auntie scared? Su Rutu inquired. I'm not afraid either. I pondered for a moment before responding earnestly. I can't even distinguish their faces. I knew Auntie wouldn't be scared. Lin Meow Meow sighed in relief. Besides, I can protect Auntie. Upon hearing this, Song K and Su Ruta nodded solemnly, as if they were little adults. As we began to queue for the haunted house, the children chattered excitedly, except for He Yang, who remained silent. I turned to see the boy with a sheep drawn on his hand standing quietly with his hands behind his back. Although he had always maintained a somewhat awkward and aloof demeanor, in this moment, I sensed that he was not unwilling to speak. He simply found it difficult to articulate his thoughts. I refrained from asking him if he was scared. Instead, I reached out quietly and held his hand, asking, Will the little sheep protect me too? He suddenly lifted his head, gripping my hand tightly, of course. He then asked, Annie, aren't you not scared? I feigned a look of concern. Actually, I am a little. Afterward, I smiled at him. But it's all right. With the little sheep to protect me, I want to be afraid. The small boy fell silent, looking up at me seriously for a moment before nodding firmly. Inside the pitch-black haunted house, eerie background music occasionally played, and the faint screams of the previous group echoed in the air, sending chills down one's spine. He Yang remained closely by my side, and the other children unanimously felt that he was the tallest and strongest, capable of protecting me better. The haunted house in the fairy tale town did not have any live NPCs, so our journey through it was remarkably smooth. The moment we stepped out of the darkness, I heard He Yang quietly ask, Auntie, you won't leave us, will you? His small hand felt slightly cold as he muttered. Su Rutu and I discussed that if we score perfect marks all the time, you won't lose us. I was taken aback. Was this how the rabbit felt? Song K also said that if we are always obedient and don't cause you worry, we can stay. He Yang asked with hopeful anticipation, Annie, what they said is true, right? At a loss for words, I could only reach out and gently pat his head. I have always been a rather slow-witted and carefree person, but raising children may not be as simple as I had imagined. Our final attraction was the Ferris wheel. The 6 of us sat together in the small cabin, gazing down at the breathtaking nightscape of the city bathed in lights. Auntie, I want to stay like this forever, Zhuangyu said, leaning against the window, her eyes sparkling. Just the 6 of us. Always like this. I had once consoled them in such a manner. We could be together forever. Always united. But how could that possibly be? Even though I repeatedly assured them that we would never part, they still felt compelled to impose layer upon layer of conditions upon themselves, even reassuring one another, as long as we are always well-behaved, Auntie won't abandon us. Perhaps children understand that in this world, there is no such promise as forever. I softly replied, little fish, it won't always be like this. The cabin, once brimming with laughter, fell into an abrupt silence. He Yang, seated beside me, immediately turned to face me, while Song K tightened her grip on my hand. After a moment of contemplation, I spoke earnestly. Although I cherish you all dearly, and you reciprocate those feelings, one must acknowledge that we all grow up. Eventually, you will each leave home to embark on new journeys, marry, and establish your own families. However, this notion seemed too distant for them to grasp. I continued, for instance, Meow Meow once told me that upon meeting new friends, you too will one day encounter new individuals. I don't want any new friends, Lin Meow Meow, who had always been obedient, interjected, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I only want my aunt. I don't want new friends. Aunt, please don't abandon me. I found myself in a state of bemusement, responding, that is not what I meant. We don't eat much. We could work part-time and earn money. And we will listen to you, Aunt. Sue Rhoda said, pursing her lips. Aunt, I will continue to strive for first place next time. There's no need for that, I said, gently ruffling Sue Rhoda's hair. Even if you don't come in first, don't earn money, or eat a great deal, it doesn't matter. I have adopted you. You are my responsibility, and we will always be a family, although it is possible that you will each have your own families in the future. He Yang suddenly interjected, what about you, Aunt? I was momentarily taken aback. What do you mean? Aunt will also marry and have little babies, Song K murmured softly. Aunt will also have her own family. The cabin fell into a profound silence, and I finally comprehended what they were truly afraid of. They were all children who had once been returned, adopted once, only to be sent back to the orphanage when their adoptive family had new children. This was something my elder brother had conveyed to me. I have always been emotionally detached, having been a boarder since childhood. My elder brother worked away from home when I was young, sending me money each month, while my second brother had long since left home. And I seldom saw either of them. My elder brother would call me from time to time, which was my only opportunity to connect with him. When my elder brother passed away, I felt a twinge of sadness, but more than that, I felt lost. Apart from my estranged second brother. My elder brother was my only relative, though I saw him no more than twice a year. At least I knew I still had family. But then my elder brother was gone. As I walked down the street, staring at the flow of passers-by, those blurred, unfamiliar faces appeared to me as blank sheets of paper. I knew they were crying and laughing, but I could not remember or distinguish between them. It was just like my elder brother. On the day of his departure, I had stared at him for what felt like an eternity, desperately trying to memorize his features. Yet I was unable to do so. When he became a small box that fell into my embrace, I was left in bewilderment, wondering why I could no longer recall my elder brother's face. Thankfully, he had left me with 5 children. I cared not for the roles of protagonist or antagonist. I only knew that they were my elder brother's legacy, and perhaps long after, they would be the only ones capable of leading me back to him. The only ones who would remember him. That was enough for me. My elder brother always told me that when I grew up, he had saved a considerable sum of money for me, allowing me to marry someone I loved and eventually have my own family. Xiao Qiu, your brother may not possess many talents, but I have saved a great deal of money for you, ensuring that you will never have to worry about food and clothing, he said. You have always been alone. I only hope that you will not be alone in the future. At that time, I did not comprehend that the considerable sum he referred to was a figure that would leave me speechless. I merely knew that if this was his wish, I would comply. But that is a matter for a long time from now, I said, glancing at their youthful faces and speaking candidly. Perhaps by the time I marry, you will all be in university. That is still a long way off. Zhuangyu began to count. 7, 8, 9 years. For them. 9 years indeed felt like an eternity. The children seemed to collectively exhale, as if they had received a solemn promise. Indeed, I smiled. So, let us not dwell on such distant matters. Let us make wishes instead. I know this. Lin Miao Miao eagerly raised her hand to answer. When the Ferris wheel reaches its highest point, wishes can come true. Very clever, I said, tapping her little nose. Let us all make a wish together. As the Ferris wheel ascended to its zenith, we beheld the entire cityscape beneath us. The dazzling, luminous lights flowed gently along the overpasses and intertwining highways, suspended amidst the towering skyscrapers, as if they were the very lifeblood of the city. I closed my eyes. My wish was not grand, but rather simple and cunning. I thought, if it were possible, let the wishes of these 5 little ones come true. 04. Children grow swiftly, much like wheat, sprouting in an instant. Su Rutu and Zhuangyu, now in 5th grade, began to shoot up, while He Yang remained a small bundle, gloomily drinking milk each day, asking me, Aunt, I want to always be this short, will I? I stifled a laugh. No, little lamb, you will grow taller when you enter middle school. This was not an untruth. He Yang was simply developing a bit later. By the time they graduated from elementary school, the 3 boys were nearly of the same height. That year, my gift for them on Children's Day was 5 mobile phones, a present I had reserved until their graduation from elementary school. It's the last Children's Day, I said on the day of the holiday as I handed them the phones, so I thought I'd give you something a bit more extravagant. The children were all elated, yet Lin Miao Miao wore a disappointed expression. Can't I remain a child forever? Miao Miao. I had changed my way of addressing her to a little animal at her insistence last year. Everyone must grow up. After a moment of thought, I added, but in my heart, you will always be children. You are far from becoming adults. Then why hasn't T Anne grown up? Zhuangyu teased. You still look like a fairy. Aunt has always been 18, Su Ruta chimed in, just like when we first met. Though I had heard this flattery for years, the sweet words of children never failed to melt my heart. After receiving their phones, the 5 little ones spent the entire afternoon at home experimenting with them, one by one queuing up to add me on WeChat. Song K created a group chat, which someone whimsically renamed Animal Family, yet everyone seemed to tacitly accept the title. Having learned to draw little animals from the art teacher for several years, Zhuangyu, the most diligent of the bunch, was now able to sketch us in Q-version avatars. Our profile pictures formed a cohesive series, with the children depicted as little animals while I appeared as a cute girl with twin tails. They eagerly changed to their new avatars and began to play dice in the group chat. I will never concede defeat. He Yang declared in the chat this time. I will win for sure. Then he rolled a 1. He Yang, the other children burst into laughter while they too began to roll the dice. Song K rolled a 2, Zhuangyu a 3, and Su Rutu a 5. The lucky Lin Miao Miao effortlessly rolled a 6. Haha, I won. Curious, I asked. Are you playing a game? No, Aunt. Lin Miao Miao replied with an adorably cute expression. This is the ultimate showdown. Whoever wins gets to sit next to Aunt during the movie tonight. I was taken aback. Tonight, an animated film was set to premiere, and I had indeed purchased 6 tickets, intending to take the 5 children to the cinema. However, I must admit that I did not allocate the seating arrangements properly, as the children had already conferred among themselves and resolved the matter internally. Tonight, I shall sit to Aunt's left, Lin Miao Miao exclaimed with evident excitement, and Su Rutu will be seated to her right. Su Rutu then sent a rabbit received emoji in the group chat. I couldn't help but chuckle. Aren't we all on the sofa? Why resort to WeChat? Su Rutu candidly replied, I am not as cute as an emoji. You are already quite adorable, I said, ruffling his hair. You are all the most charming children. This is my heartfelt truth. Although I had only just reached adulthood when I adopted them, their maturity, coupled with the connections and arrangements made by their older brother, meant I encountered little difficulty. Occasionally, I cannot help but reflect on the advantages of wealth. Children truly are insatiable consumers, and this assertion is not unfounded. Especially since I have a penchant for purchasing delightful items for them. Whenever I see charming clothing online, I am compelled to envision them wearing it, and I also thoroughly enjoy treating them to sumptuous meals. Though in some respects I am a homebody, I willingly take them out for adventures, such as tonight's movie outing. Upon our arrival at the cinema, just as I was about to collect the tickets, Song K pulled me aside. Aunt, please sit. I then noticed that the other 4 children had dispersed in 4 different directions. Lin Miao Miao was off to procure 3D glasses. Su Rutu went to collect the tickets, while He Yang and Zhuangyu headed for popcorn and drinks. The children had orchestrated everything with remarkable precision, leaving me, the adult, feeling somewhat bewildered as I settled into a soft massage chair. Song K even kindly inquired if I would like her to order a 6-minute meal for me. No. Thank you, Xiao K, I replied. During the film, Lin Miao Miao sat to my left and Su Rutu to my right. Unlike typical children, they were neither boisterous nor disruptive. They sat quietly, occasionally gasping in awe. As this was their first experience with a 3D film, the group was utterly captivated, and upon exiting, they remained animatedly discussing their desire to watch other films in the series. But we have homework, Su Rutu instinctively remarked, pausing before realizing, oh, we have no homework. Hooray. Zhuangyu cheered, raising his hand. Happy summer vacation. Thus commenced the long summer break of 6th grade. Considering safety concerns, I refrained from taking them on trips. For being directionally challenged, I lacked confidence in navigating 5 children through unfamiliar tourist attractions. However, I found it quite manageable to take them around the city. This summer, I procured various annual passes, including those for amusement parks, arcades, cinemas, and membership cards for various children's clothing brands. Yet, we often spent our time at home indulging in games, poker, mahjong, and board games. Admittedly, it is somewhat embarrassing to confess that I struggle to keep up with the children in board games. In reaction games, Song K consistently claims first place, her height having surged during 6th grade, making her a standout among her peers in both athleticism and reflexes. She participated in numerous events during the elementary school sports day, and her performance was commendable. I sometimes find myself pondering if this is what they refer to as being well-rounded. I vividly recall my astonishment when she shattered the basketball record at the arcade. When it comes to imagination and perception, no one excels quite like Zhuangyu. I enrolled him in an art class during the summer, and he seems to possess an innate sensitivity to beauty, even advising me on my attire at such a young age. While he always sweetly declares, "Aunt, you look good in anything," he also offers thoughtful critiques. But this white outfit feels more suited for a fairy like you, Aunt. As for Lin Miao Miao, she is undoubtedly the luckiest among us, possessing an extraordinary stroke of fortune. Even when we play poker together, she invariably draws the most fortuitous hands. Ever since I discovered this talent of hers, I have enlisted her assistance during lottery draws on Weibo. Su Rutu and He Yang are formidable players in honor of kings, one specializing as an archer and the other in the jungles. Whenever we team up, they always ensure I get to play Yao, silently guiding me to victory. Occasionally, we encounter opponents who angrily accuse them of using Smurf accounts to carry me, or fellow teammates who ask if they wish to form a couple. They always look up at me in confusion, asking, "Aunt, what does that mean?" At times, He Yang furrows his brow and retorts, "Yao isn't my sister, she's my aunt." The opponents react even more vehemently. "Do you think you're Yangguo? What are you pretending for?" Me. He Yang, "Aunt, what is he saying?" Su Rutu, "He is insulting us." He Yang, "Aunt said we mustn't curse." Su Rutu, "We can just report him." Thus, the two boys muted the opponent and continued to play in silence, while I, filled with embarrassment, lingered above them, thinking to myself, adults do not wish to live so recklessly. Yet, the next time, I found myself once again feeling ashamed. There was no escaping the prowess of elementary school students. After the summer vacation, I enrolled the children in the finest middle school in the city. I still pick them up at the gate every day, and we maintain our weekly movie outings. Everything remains unchanged except for their increased study time and busier schedules. Just when I believed our lives would continue in this joyful manner, the long quiet encyclopedia suddenly unveiled a new description. Synopsis: the male lead and the female lead develop feelings for one another during a countryside outing, their emotions intensifying. The malicious female antagonist, He Qingqiu, drives the female lead from her home, leading the male supporting character to plead on her behalf, while the antagonist accompanies the female lead as she runs away from home, and the male antagonist confesses his feelings to the male lead. What is this countryside outing? Is it not the upcoming autumn picnic that the children are planning? Moreover, why, after all these years, does my name only appear in connection with the wicked female antagonist? What about the names of the others? The encyclopedia fails to comprehend my sentiments, persistently urging me to complete the narrative. Yet I have already resolved to disregard it. There is no way that the storyline will unfold as it is meant to. The question is, will the male lead and female lead indeed develop feelings, while the female antagonist favors the male lead, the male antagonist favors the female lead? It is entirely reasonable for these 5 children, who have shared meals and a home for so many years, to experience crushes as they enter the tumultuous age of adolescence. I harbor no objections to such feelings, but should any convoluted love triangles emerge, followed by heart-wrenching romances that jeopardize their relationships, I would categorically refuse to accept it. I resolved to ascertain their thoughts on the matter. Yet who exactly are the male and female leads? Who are the antagonists? I gazed expressionlessly at the physical descriptions within the plot. What do descriptions of peach blossom-like lips and grape-like eyes even matter? After all these years, I still cannot match any of the identities to their respective descriptions. Since I cannot identify the characters, I shall have to investigate them one by one. My first inquiry was directed at Lin Miao Miao. She is innocent and straightforward, devoid of guile, and serves as the family's source of joy. Could she be the female lead? I inquired, "Miao Miao, how are you adjusting at school?" "Super well," Lin Miao Miao replied exuberantly. "Aunt, my last essay was read aloud by the teacher in front of the whole class. I wrote about you, and my classmates all expressed their desire to meet my fairy aunt." I continued to probe indirectly. "Miao Miao, have you noticed any differences among everyone recently?" "Differences?" Lin Miao Miao appeared puzzled for a moment before quickly becoming indignant. "Oh. Su Ruta has gone too far, aunt. He's secretly prepared a gift for you for October, without telling us. He is being manipulative." This month, I indeed received a gift from Su Ruta, which prompted me to post about it on social media. Moreover, when He Yang delivered his speech, the cover of his PPT featured a photograph of him with my aunt. Clearly, it was meant to be a self-introduction, yet he included my aunt in the picture. How infuriating! When I presented before him, I merely used my own photo. I was left speechless, unable to interject. I reassured myself that she was still quite young, confiding everything to me, and had never mentioned any boys. How could she possibly be in a romantic relationship? It certainly wasn't Miao Miao. I shifted my investigative focus to Zhuangyu. "Wolfish," I said, adopting a more forthright approach with Zhuangyu. "Since you've been in class for a while now, have you made any new friends?"
Yes.
Zhuang Yu immediately opened up. There are many boys in our class who enjoy drawing. I always sit with them during art class. No, I mean, are there any girls? I clarified. Girls? Zhuang Yu paused for a moment. There are two, and we discuss makeup together. Makeup? Exactly. I want to do my aunt's makeup, he exclaimed, his eyes sparkling. And I can even buy her cosmetics. I found myself at a loss for how to proceed with this topic, forcing myself to continue. Do you think they are pretty? How do they compare to Miao Miao and Xiao Xiao? I don't know. Zhuang Yu scratched his chin, speaking nonchalantly in my eyes. Aside from my aunt who is as beautiful as a fairy, the other girls all look the same. I was taken aback, judging by his tone. It seemed he wasn't infatuated either. Yet, shouldn't all the male leads, supporting characters, and even the antagonists be developing feelings for the female lead at this point? I tentatively inquired, little fish. My aunt has one last question. Zhuang Yu replied eagerly. It's fine, auntie, please ask. If hypothetically, you had to choose one girl to play with continually, would you pick Xiao Xiao or Miao Miao? Zhuang Yu was completely taken aback. He asked, can I choose my aunt? No, I mean between Xiao Xiao and Miao Miao. He then asked, can He Yang and Su Ruta choose my aunt? I responded, They aren't part of this question. He retorted. But Song Qiao and Lin Miao Miao wouldn't want to play with me all the time. They would surely find a way to steal my aunt away. What if they wanted to play with you continuously? I probed. He replied, then I wouldn't want to either. I can't compete with them. Song Qiao is so strong. And Lin Miao Miao always has good luck with the cards. I only want to play with my aunt. I was utterly defeated. I sought out He Yang next. Although he was a bit awkward, he wouldn't conceal anything from me if I asked. I inquired, little sheep, how have you been recently? He looked at me quizzically. What's up, auntie? I just wanted to understand your situation. I see. The tall youth replied with a knowing expression, coolly asking, which person's affairs does my aunt want to know about? I felt as though he had misunderstood my intentions, yet I cautiously said, well, what about Xiao Xiao? Her? He Yang frowned slightly. She asked fine, but Lin Miao Miao did forget to do her homework last week. My attention sharpened. Is that so? Yes, He Yang said. That paper was stuck in her book stand, and she didn't take it home, so the teacher scolded her. I see, I continued. What about the others? Is there anyone not wanting to study, and thus not doing their homework? Not that I know of. He Yang shook his head. Auntie, don't worry. Song Qiao will remind her from now on. That is good, I nodded instinctively. Song Qiao is quite reliable. Have you encountered any difficulties in your studies? Do you need to attend extra classes? 15 minutes later, I numbly watched He Yang's departing figure, lost in thought. What was I about to ask? How did it come to this? Indeed, as a parent, my primary concern revolves around my child's education. As for Su Rutu and Song Qiao, they are the two most intelligent among the 5 children. Just as I was uncertain whom to approach first, Su Rutu came to me. Auntie, the tall youth inquired, are you wanting to ask us something? I suddenly felt a pang of embarrassment, realizing how, as an adult, I was doubting whether these innocent children were engaged in early romantic relationships, an utterly shameful thought. While chastising myself internally, I managed to say, well, since you've all grown a bit, I'm somewhat curious about your popularity at school. Su Ruta paused for 2 seconds, cutting to the chase. Annie wants to know if we have crushes? I was taken aback, caught red-handed. I don't, and Zhuang Yu doesn't either. Lin Miao Miao probably doesn't either, Su Rutu continued, noticing my awkward expression. As for Song Qiao, I'm not sure, but even though He Yang is very popular, I know he doesn't have a girl he likes. Hearing this, it seemed these children had no intention of progressing into romantic narratives. Su Ruta had always been the most reliable child in my eyes. I immediately believed his words, feeling a tremendous weight lift from my chest. And I breathed a sigh of relief. Is Auntie scared of something? Su Ruta suddenly asked. I was taken aback, and after a long pause, I lightly laughed a little. Can you share it with me? The innocent youth sat beside me, unchanged from the adorable boy he had been years ago. I also want to be someone who can help my aunt. To outsiders, I appeared carefree, with a stable livelihood, an untroubled family background, and seemingly no worries. Yet, I always remembered that I was the malicious female antagonist in a novel, loathed by all, neglected and destined to die alone before the age of 30. How I died, the reasons behind it, and the timing seemed irrelevant, for I was the villainess. Even my demise was merely glossed over in the narrative. If I didn't follow the plot, the world would crumble. Yet, I found myself unable to adhere to the storyline. It felt like an unsolvable conundrum. Although I had never been one to overthink, occasionally, such fears would weigh heavily on my heart, making it hard to breathe. I contemplated and seriously told Su Rutu, "Little rabbit, do you believe in fate?" Fate? He looked at me. "I think it exists." I sighed. "But what if it's a bad fate? The kind that is predetermined from the very beginning. That shouldn't be unchangeable." Su Rutu replied, "Annie, our history teacher teaches us that man can conquer nature. If we strive to change it, fate won't be so unfair." He was still young, yet his words carried profound wisdom. I couldn't help but smile, acknowledging that my mood had lightened somewhat. I ruffled Su Rutu's hair, saying, "Thank you, little rabbit." He was right, regardless of whether I could change it. I had to try. 06. The autumn outing for the children was fast approaching. I prepared stir-fried dishes and snacks for them, took them to the supermarket to purchase barbecue ingredients, and reminded them to stay safe while I awaited their return with photos. Zhuang Yu was an excellent photographer. He took group pictures and captured the scenery along the way, providing me with real-time updates through voice messages. When they returned, it was evident they had a fantastic time, chattering excitedly to share their experiences with me. Yong had just finished speaking about the narrow bridge when none of them dared to cross it. Song K then interjected, "There's nothing worth seeing beyond the bridge, just a temple." "I really haven't been there," Lin Miao Miao replied enthusiastically. "But didn't Xiao K say she met a monk?" "Yes, I encountered one," Song K said, "but he didn't seem very monk-like." It appeared she hesitated over the words to describe him, finally stating, "Not quite like a monk." "Why is that?" I asked, a hint of curiosity piquing my interest. Yong said he didn't look very respectable. Zhuang Yu chimed in with a smile, "Right?" Once again prompted. Yong replied, "What monk lacks respectability?" I became alert. "He can't be a fraud, can he?" "No, Annie," Song K clarified. "He didn't ask for money, just spoke some rather strange things to me." My vigilance heightened. What kind of things? What sort of monk could he be? I found myself pondering if he was perhaps perverse. Song K appeared somewhat bewildered. He said he wanted to pay his respects to me and wished my whole family peace and happiness, with wealth flowing in. I was momentarily speechless. Su Rutu suddenly interjected, "This humble monk hails from the eastern continent, journeying westward to worship Buddha and seek blessings. Today, upon seeing little benefactor, your celestial appearance is quite auspicious, indicating a blessed lineage. It would not be amiss for this humble monk to pay his respects to you, wishing you and your family peace and happiness, with wealth flowing in." After he delivered this well-rehearsed speech, a profound silence enveloped the dining table. "You've mastered it," Yong conceded, genuinely impressed. "It's identical. Did you memorize every word?" Lin Miao Miao's eyes widened. "No wonder you scored a perfect 100 on the history exam." "Auntie?" Zhuang Yu suddenly turned to me. "What's wrong?" All the children looked at me, and I snapped back to reality, suppressing my expression. "It's nothing." However, upon returning to my room that night, sleep eluded me. This humble monk comes from the eastern continent, journeying westward to worship Buddha and seek blessings. Of course, I bought candied hawthorn from a little alley in the east and came to the school in the west to give it to you. It's over 20 kilometers. It would not be amiss for this humble monk to pay his respects to the little benefactor. Elder brother has no birthday wishes. Just wishes for Xiao Qiu to become immensely wealthy overnight, a new generation of the affluent. The monk who appeared unlike a monk suddenly blocked Song K. A peculiar monk indeed. The fog of memory was abruptly lifted. I could not recall my elder brother's visage, nor the emotions I felt when he departed. Yet, I remember vividly how he once earnestly squatted before me, praising my achievement of first place in a running race despite still being in elementary school. "Xiao Qiu, you are incredible." I also recall how he treated me with the same patience and indulgence I now extend to these children, taking them to watch movies, playing games with them, and encouraging them with laughter, regardless of their antics. I think I was once loved. But even a brother connected by blood cannot indefinitely shower unconditional affection upon his sister, especially one who fails to recognize him. Perhaps my dullness and naivety made life too burdensome for my elder brother, or perhaps after caring for me for so many years, he finally wished to carve out his own path. In any case, during the year of the college entrance examination, he left me with but a single sentence before departing alone. It sounded like an absurd prank. At first, I could hardly believe it, crying as I searched for him until my elder brother rushed to embrace me. In the torrential rain, warm droplets fell from his face. Was it rain? Why was the rain warm? "I'm sorry, Xiao Qiu," he trembled as he spoke. "It's our fault. The brothers are sorry, Xiao Qiu." From that moment on, I never mentioned my elder brother again. I thought perhaps he had saddened my elder brother, and while I too felt sorrow, I resolved not to speak of him again. My familial bonds had always been tenuous. Both my elder brother and my second brother loved me. It was just that one was too busy to love me, while the other was too weary to continue. So, could that monk today be my second brother? Did he know that my elder brother had passed away? Did he know I had adopted Song K? Did he know where I was now? If he knew, why did he not come to see my elder brother? If he knew, why did he not seek me out? If he knew, why would he rather pay respects to the oblivious Xiao Ke than share another word with me? Should I search for him? Yet, even if I found him, I would not recognize him. I stared blankly at a group photo on the table. 2 young boys and a little girl. The boys' faces were indistinct, but they were smiling brightly. I hesitated for a moment before stepping out of my room and knocking on Song K's door. Xiao Ke, tomorrow is Saturday. Auntie wishes for you to accompany me to a place to find someone. The next day, I took 5 children back to the site of their picnic. Under the leadership of Su Ru Tu and Song Ke, I stepped onto the narrow bridge, advancing step by step towards the temple. The children sensed something amiss. Lin Miao Miao, who had been too frightened to cross the bridge yesterday, silently followed me, her eyes filled with concern, unwilling to proceed despite my encouragement. I had no choice but to hold her hand all the way, gently pushing open the temple door. The temple was empty, devoid of any presence. Why is there no one here? Song Ke surveyed the surroundings. The offerings from yesterday have all been cleared away. But didn't someone just light incense here? Zhuangyu pointed to the incense burner. Is this candied hawthorn an offering? Who uses candied hawthorn as an offering? He Yang countered. It must have been accidentally dropped here by someone. Auntie, Su Ru Tu's voice faltered. Auntie, are you alright? I am well, I replied softly. Let us go back. Aren't we supposed to find someone? I shook my head. No need to search anymore. He did not wish for me to see him. Then we shall not search. Perhaps, as the books suggest, my fate with him, and with my elder brother, can only fade gradually as I gaze upon their silhouettes receding into the distance. Auntie, is the person you want to find very important to you? Song Ke inquired. Important, I affirmed, but it's all right. I have you all now. We will always be here for Auntie. Zhuangyu declared earnestly. Absolutely. If I don't accompany her, I'm a puppy. Me too. If I don't accompany her, I'm a pig. The autumn sunlight was splendid. A gentle breeze wafted through, and the dancing shadows of the trees fell upon my hands like scattered stars. I took a bite of the candied hawthorn. It was a bit sour. 07. As the children grew, I increasingly found it difficult to believe in the narrative of fate. For all these years, the story had crumbled beyond recognition. Yet this world remained unchanged, showing no signs of collapse or any significant transformation. Though Encyclopedia was somewhat supernatural, I had come to regard it as a form of entertainment, only appearing when I had questions. Recently, I found myself grappling with a new vexation. It seemed I was beginning to attract romantic interest. The 5 little ones had all begun their high school journey, while I had graduated with my Master's degree, embarking on the straightforward and somewhat brutal life of rent collection. During college, I was preoccupied with caring for the children, spending very little time at school. However, as they gradually matured, my leisure time increased, allowing me to venture out and explore. Gradually, suitors began to emerge. They include, but are not limited to, the instructors of the Zhuangyu Art Interest class, my tenants, my former university classmates, and my senior colleagues from the research lab. Initially, I had little interest in interacting with boys until I met my tenant, Lu Zhao, who left a profound impression on me. He possesses a delightful sense of humor, exuding warmth and gentlemanly charm. Each outing with him brings me a sense of relaxation, and I often catch glimpses of familiar shadows in him, at times reminiscent of an elder brother, at other moments, a younger one. I am aware that this is inappropriate, yet I find myself unable to resist accepting his invitations, time and again, reminiscing about the past through our shared mannerisms. However, I did not anticipate that this matter would be discovered so swiftly. Aunt, Zhuangyu suddenly stated at the dinner table. I saw it. I was taken aback. What? Aunt, are you in a relationship recently? Lin Miao Miao inquired, her tone lacking the usual vivacity. Not exactly, I replied, feeling somewhat embarrassed discussing such matters with this group of youngsters. And vaguely added, it's just a casual acquaintance. Silence fell over the table once more. I then noticed that their moods seemed off today. So I turned to the boy on my left, Su Rutu. Rabbit, what is wrong with you all? The boy, clad in his school uniform with sleeves rolled up to his elbows, glanced at me before abruptly standing up, coldly stating, I'm done eating. I momentarily misspoke. He was not Su Rutu, he was He Yang. That's enough. The real Su Rutu set down his chopsticks, his voice calm. Whether Aunt is in a relationship is her business. There is no need to inform us. I'm not withholding anything from you, I explained. If I were truly in a relationship, I would certainly let you know. Silence reigned again. Not in a relationship, just getting to know someone. Zhuang Yu's tone was peculiar. Is that what you mean, Aunt? I nodded. So, does Aunt like that uncle? Song K wiped her mouth. It's not to that extent, I replied candidly. I merely find it comfortable to be around him. Then, He Yang, having returned, stood before me, gazing quietly. Does Aunt find it uncomfortable to be with us? Of course not. I was somewhat taken aback. I genuinely enjoy spending time with all of you. He Yang fell silent again. It dawned on me. You all don't want me to be in a relationship, do you? It's understandable for these children to feel this way. After all, in their eyes, having a new family meant I would discard them. Though I knew that such a scenario would never unfold, and my intentions with Lu Zhao were far from romantic, I preferred not to delve too deeply into this topic with them. They are still children in my eyes. And I always feel that sharing romantic experiences with youngsters as an elder is rather inappropriate. Yet, having cared for them for nearly a decade, they undoubtedly hold far greater significance in my heart than Lu Zhao, whom I have only known for a month. As I contemplated how to explain this to them, Lin Miao Miao suddenly laughed. It's fine, Aunt. Being in a relationship is perfectly okay. Her bright voice shattered the overly somber atmosphere at the table. And that uncle seems quite handsome. Her tone regained its liveliness, and the others appeared to lighten up as well. Zhuang Yu even chimed in, indeed. But he is still not worthy of Aunt. He can't possibly compare to her beauty. I chuckled, haha. Honestly, looks don't matter much. After all, I hardly discern who looks like what. However, seeing them return to their usual selves, I swallowed the explanation that had been on my lips. As an adult, I refrained from mentioning my past loneliness, my elder brother and younger brother, along with the complexities of my emotions. Rest assured, you all are the most important to me, I said, patting each of their heads as I used to. Even if you venture far away in the future, I shall remain here, waiting for you to return. I know, Aunt. Song K grasped my hand and reiterated, I know. Aunt certainly can't wander off, otherwise, she wouldn't be able to find us. Zhuang Yu stood up, now taller than me, playfully leaning closer, obediently lowering his head for me to pat. It's only right for us to come find Aunt. Shall we watch a movie together today? I proposed. Yes. Lin Miao Miao cheered. It's been ages since we've watched a movie together. They are all on the brink of their college entrance examinations. Although I harbor no intention of restricting them, each one is incredibly diligent. And they haven't indulged in leisure activities for quite some time. We had redecorated the area designated for the projector. The floor was covered with a vast, plush blanket, and a lazy sofa accompanied by various cushions strewn about. Each of us seized a cushion, finding our own comfortable spots to sit. I sat cross-legged on the sofa, while He Yang positioned himself in front of me, his head bowed as if lost in thought, his tousled hair brushing against my pant leg. I'm sorry for mistaking you earlier, little lamb, I murmured softly. You're not upset with me, are you? He turned his head, seemingly frowning slightly. I would never blame Aunt. Is that so? I felt a bit embarrassed. It's just that you all wear school uniforms and are so tall. He replied in a low voice, I understand. Come on, He Yang, what is there to be unhappy about? Zhuang Yu draped an arm around his neck. When I was little, Aunt mistook me for Song K, and I didn't say anything. I was momentarily speechless. During a performance rehearsal at their school, they sent Zhuang Yu to fill in due to a shortage of girls, and when I went to pick them up, I called out directly to Zhuang Yu, little K. Everyone erupted in laughter, and I couldn't help but chuckle either, ruffling Zhuang Yu's hair. Sorry, little fish. It's fine, Aunt. Zhuang Yu looked up at me, giving me an okay sign. I understand. You just think I'm cute like a girl. It's no big deal. I can accept that. Aunt. It seems that prosopagnosia can also be treated. Su Ruta pondered for a moment. I've looked it up. Just as I was about to respond, my phone vibrated. I glanced at the screen to find a message from Lu Zhao. Lu Zhao. I was once a distinguished Ultraman, yet was betrayed by the cunning Ultraman. The Ultraman family has forsaken me. Ultraman father has expelled me. They even severed my gamma rays. Having been reborn, tomorrow is Crazy Thursday. Who will treat me to a meal? I sent a 50 yuan red envelope. Wishing you prosperity and great fortune. Lu Zhao, wow. You really sent a red envelope? Little he, you can't be so easily fooled. IV Ultraman 50. Lu Zhao, wishing you prosperity and great fortune. I opened the red envelope to find it was 18,888. Lu Zhao, don't ask me. It wasn't he from me. It was from other members of the Ultraman family. Lu Zhao. So, do you want to observe the revival history of Ultraman tomorrow night? Lu Zhao, let me treat you to a meal. Grace me with your presence. I was engrossed in replying to the messages, oblivious to the fact that the children beside me were not watching the movie. Their gazes were fixed upon me, and only when I lifted my head did they nonchalantly divert their attention. After informing the housekeeper that I would need dinner prepared today, I stepped out to meet Lu Zhao. The atmosphere during our conversation was as relaxed and pleasant as ever. After finishing dinner, we began to stroll along the nearby lake. Lu Zhao suddenly asked, "Little he, you're about to turn 26, aren't you?" I replied, "Yes, next Sunday." "Then shall we go out for a meal to celebrate?" He paused, "And bring along your little ones." I hesitated for a moment. "I need to ask for their opinions." "You are their aunt. They will certainly celebrate your birthday with you," Lu Zhao remarked cheerfully, and the weekend conveniently follows the conclusion of the college entrance examination. "How do you know?" I abruptly interrupted him. "What? How do you know that they call me aunt?" I paused. "I don't believe I've mentioned this to you." I had indeed shared that I had adopted several children, but I hadn't elaborated further, and it was implausible for him to know them. Most people would assume I was their sister or mother. How could he possibly know they referred to me as aunt? Lu Zhao stood frozen in place. After a moment, he let out a soft hiss. "You are quite perceptive." I pressed on stubbornly. "How do you know?" "Miss he rubbed his forehead. "Could you refrain from asking me this question? It puts me in a difficult position." My gaze darkened. "You know He Chun Lai." He clearly hesitated. "Yes." "No, that's not right," I asserted. "You also know He Liangxia." He remained silent for a longer stretch this time. "I am entrusted with a task that requires my loyalty. I cannot divulge anything to you," Lu Zhao said slowly. "However, it is indeed something you will inevitably come to understand. On your birthday, all will be revealed." "My second brother sent you, didn't he?" I mused aloud. "What did he send you to do?" All right, I truly cannot say more." Lu Zhao retreated a couple of steps. "I will escort you home, little he." Upon reflection, the circumstances of my encounter with Lu Zhao were rife with clues. It was he who proactively sought out my residence as a tenant. He seemed to know me intimately, aware of my culinary preferences, my favorite beverages, and my struggle with face blindness. He was also familiar with all the memories I shared with my elder and younger brothers. He treated me with utmost kindness and consideration. Yet I sensed he did not harbor feelings for me, at least not as fervently as he portrayed. However, I, too, did not hold any affection for him, thus tacitly accepting his proximity. Initially, I had surmised he sought financial gain, considering I was his landlord, but I soon dismissed this notion, for he was exceedingly generous, exuding an air of affluence uncharacteristic of someone in need of deceitful financial gain. Yet, if he was indifferent to me, and not motivated by monetary concerns, what could possibly be his intent? "Ah, it seems I've been discovered," he murmured. "I am bound to face reprimand." I ceased to speak further, for I sensed that no matter how I probed, Lu Zhao would remain tight-lipped. Perhaps I would only uncover the truth on my birthday. "Will my second brother come to see me on my birthday?" I asked one final question as Lu Zhao accompanied me to the door. "I cannot influence his decisions." He touched his nose. "He is my senior, not my junior." I was taken aback. Upon returning home, I found several children studying diligently at the table. They greeted me warmly upon my arrival, and I mustered a smile to avoid causing them concern. The following days passed quietly. Lu Zhao did not invite me out again, and I remained at home, accompanying the 5 children through their anxious preparations for the exam. On the eve of the examination, they retired early. The next day, I cheered each of them on as I escorted them into the examination hall, and inevitably succumbed to superstition, donning a cheap house symbolizing success. The school gate was teeming with people. Witnessing the anxious and tense expressions of parents, akin to my own, I was suddenly engulfed by an overwhelming sense of unreality. From the tiny children of yesteryears to the tall adolescents before me, I had indeed nurtured this group of youngsters into adulthood. On the day of the exam's conclusion, Su Rutu was the first to emerge. He strode towards the school gate with his backpack, gradually quickening his pace until he was nearly running. Upon exiting, Su Rutu politely declined the journalists seeking interviews and stopped before me, softly calling out, "Aunt." "Well done," I said, pulling out a tissue to wipe the sweat from his forehead. "It seems you performed splendidly, Rabbit." He smiled quietly, lowering his head, choosing not to speak further. My keen eyes caught sight of the red string around his wrist. "What is this?" The simple, new red string was one I was certain I had never seen Su Rutu wear before. He discreetly covered his wrist, It's a blessing string I requested along with the others. I examined it again, finding the red string oddly familiar. Though I could not recall where I had seen it before, I merely assumed it was a common charm among examinees, and thus smiled. This string will surely protect you. This time, Su Rutu remained silent for an extended period before gently affirming, yes. As the others emerged, I noticed they too wore identical red strings around their wrists. Let us go. Tonight we feast, I said with a smile, to celebrate our family's talented students who have successfully graduated.
Great.
Lin Meow Meow enthusiastically responded, seemingly casually asking, Aunt, your birthday is tomorrow, right? Indeed, it will be past midnight, I replied, what about it? Since it's your birthday, we must treat you to this meal. Zhuang Yu eagerly took my bag. What does Aunt wish to eat? I was both amused and exasperated. My birthday is still tomorrow. Regardless, we will accompany you from dinner until midnight. He Yang interjected unexpectedly. Tomorrow we will take you out to enjoy other activities. When did I become the one being taken out for entertainment? I found it somewhat humorous, yet warmth enveloped my heart. All right, I shall heed your wishes. That night, the city buzzed with excitement. Young students celebrating the end of their exams lingered in every corner, exuberantly commemorating their fleeting youth. We first indulged in a lavish dinner, then went singing, and as midnight approached, we returned home together. They guided me to the table, instructing me to close my eyes while they turned off the lights in the house. Suddenly, flickering candlelight illuminated before me.
Aunt,
you may open your eyes now. A magnificent cake adorned the center of the dining table, while the children beamed at me with innocent smiles. Su Rutu extended his hand. Aunt, allow me to place the birthday hat upon you. The boy's wrist, clearly defined, bore the same red string as he reached out to crown me with the golden birthday hat. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. In that fleeting moment as the clock approached midnight, the scene before me abruptly aligned with a memory from the past. Xiao Qiu, let me place the birthday hat upon you. I recalled it now. This red string. This strikingly similar scene. In the scant occasions I shared with my elder brother, he had worn such a red string, smiling at me with a haggard expression. Ding-dong. A peculiar sound resonated abruptly in my mind, as the increasingly transparent encyclopedia before me ignited spontaneously, pages consumed one by one. A blinding headache overwhelmed me, leaving no time for reaction as I slipped into unconsciousness. 09. I seemed to have embarked on an interminably long dream. In this dream, I returned to the carefree days of my childhood. Though my parents had passed away prematurely, my elder and younger brothers treated me with utmost kindness, taking great care of me, calling me Xiao Qiu, pushing me on swings, cooking for me, and clumsily striving to elicit my laughter. From which day did this change begin? I racked my brain, yet I could not recall the minutiae of those days. I did not always suffer from face blindness. It likely began when I was 3 or 4, my understanding of faces gradually fading until one day I could no longer distinguish between my elder and younger brothers. Yet, I vividly recall that day when someone held me and wept, the tears scalding against my skin. Tears were indeed hot, burning me painfully. It seemed that from that day forth, my elder brother suddenly ceased to smile. He began to spend the whole day outside, occasionally returning to see me, his face worn and haggard, a red string adorning his wrist, hidden beneath his sleeve, which I had only caught a glimpse of once by chance. Before the college entrance examination, I fell gravely ill with a high fever and vaguely heard voices arguing beside me. I have already traded my life. Why is this still happening? You cannot go. Do you expect me to watch over Xiao Qiu? I understand. In the end, I heard my elder brother's voice. He sounded weary yet resolute, gently stroking my face and tucking a stray lock of hair behind my ear, softly uttering, Xiao Qiu, is this your fate? His fingers withdrew one by one, forming a tight fist, his voice trembling, yet I refused to accept this fate. Later, my fever subsided, but I never saw my elder brother again. My spirit seemed to float high above, witnessing years past when my elder brother first donned that red string. It was you who told me this is her destiny. My elder brother sounded sorrowful. I know you are a being of great wisdom, and my life is but a mere blade of grass, perhaps incapable of altering this fate, yet I still wish to exchange her life. From face blindness to the loss of all senses, culminating in her demise at the age of 26, the figure across from him inquired, is this a painful fate you are willing to bear in place of your sister? Without a moment's hesitation, my elder brother replied, yes. Not enough, the figure stated. Your sister bears a heavenly mandate, one nearly immutable. Trading your 60 years of life may only delay her loss of senses. It is insufficient. Then what must I do? Merit, came the voice, pausing momentarily. Perform good deeds. Perhaps there lies a glimmer of hope. What is this hope? In this world, there are those forsaken by the heavenly order, like your sister, and those favored by it. If she can intersect with such individuals and extend kindness, her destiny may be altered. How do I find them? If your merit is sufficient, you will see their fates before your end.
All right.
I also saw my elder brother. And like him, he too wore a red string. Elder brother, I am leaving tomorrow. Take good care of Xiao Qiu. You could also, like me, see her occasionally.
No.
Did you not say that once we exchange her life, it is best not to see her again, lest she become entangled in more karma? My elder brother chuckled, moreover. I am about to go out to accumulate merit with that wise being. There is no time to return. Liang Xia, my elder brother sighed. I am indeed your elder brother. Elder brother has already sacrificed so much, he said. The first to exchange lives is destined to perish. I am merely the second. Perhaps if I accumulate enough merit, I might survive for a long while. And my elder brother turned to me, his gaze gentle. I am also Xiao Qiu's brother. To me, this is but this lifetime. He stroked the red string on his wrist. Yet for Xiao Qiu, this is her fate across countless lifetimes. It is truly unjust. Did the wise being not say that the heavenly mandate would seek every means to obstruct Xiao Qiu from altering her fate? My elder brother furrowed his brow. I wonder what methods it may employ. Worrying is futile, my elder brother softly replied, but regardless of the methods employed, I believe Xiao Qiu will not yield. Will she cry when she cannot see me tomorrow? My elder brother suddenly asked. You must remember to meet her. I fear she may get lost.
All right.
Cold sweat trickled down my forehead as if many voices were calling my name. Urgent, eager, caring, each louder than the last. Waves of golden light enveloped me, warm and bright. Is this merit? I felt utterly lost. I have found the favored ones. 5 children. Xiao Qiu will nurture them well. As long as they form bonds, she will surely be safe in her 26th year. Liang Xia, take good care of Xiao Qiu. I met elder brother today. He has accumulated so much merit in this lifetime, and the wise being said he'll have a fortunate life in the next. If only you could do the same. Xiao Qiu. Xiao Qiu, the little girl named Song Ke you are raising resembles you a bit. But why is she favored by the heavenly order while you are forsaken? Elder brother misses you dearly, and he misses elder brother too. Miss he, did you think I was referring to other members of the Ultraman family? I am not that generous. Xiao he, the children you are raising genuinely adore you. Now I can tell my senior brother, with their willingness to exchange lives for you. You are guaranteed longevity. Auntie, please wake up. Annie, did you not say this blessing string could protect us? I only wish for it to shield you. Auntie, did we not promise to celebrate your 26th birthday together?
Auntie.
Auntie, Lu Zhao said our fate is exceptionally good. Helping you exchange lives will not affect us. Please do not be angry with us. Auntie, thankfully Uncle Chunlai found me. Thankfully I can assist you. I am truly frightened. Auntie, Xiao Qiu. I seemed to hear someone let out a long sigh, and that volume of encyclopedia was reduced to ashes, like a heavenly order that, after a futile struggle, chose to surrender. Influenced by excessive merit, it transformed into a fragmented encyclopedia, clearly intent on leading me to self-destruction. Yet due to the life exchanges of my elder brother and second brother, along with the proximity of the 5 children, it could only retreat in helpless silence. At this point, it finally dissipated from my world. Perhaps from now on, it could no longer bind my fate. But this altered destiny came at the cost of my most precious possessions. I once thought my kinship was rather superficial. Is it truly? Is my kinship genuinely so tenuous? Or is it that, in places unseen by me, there are those who have exhausted all their strength to contend against fate, sacrificing everything, yet creating a facade of superficiality to spare me from excessive sorrow? I felt my soul tear in two, one half reproaching that oblivious self. He Qingqiu, how could you be so presumptuous? How could you believe you were merely once loved? How could you think your elder brother is too busy to love you? And your second brother is too weary to care? They exert every ounce of their strength to love you, to defy destiny on your behalf. How could you believe your current happiness is merely due to good fortune? You, who have been forsaken by fate, have survived by consuming your loved one's lifeblood. How could you think they do not love you? 10. I opened my eyes to find myself lying on a soft bed, surrounded by faces filled with panic. The daylight outside shone brightly, clearly reflecting their sleepless eyes. I parted my lips and managed a weak smile. Do not shout. I am fine. Yet a tear swiftly slid down my cheek, soaking into the pillow. It was as though a dam had burst. The second, third, fourth tears followed suit. I cried in utter disarray, stifling my sobs, feeling as though the entire world was turning upside down before me. I was so overwhelmed that I could not articulate a single coherent sentence. A pair of hands, gentle as I once was towards them, caressed my head. "Auntie, it is over. We will always be by your side." "You dare to undertake such a life exchange," I rasped. "Are you not afraid of being deceived?" "If it concerns my aunt, I would accept being deceived," Zhuang Yu said, leaning against my bedside. "Aunt, you must recover swiftly. Uncle Yang Xia mentioned that once you awaken, he will be able to see you." Uncle Yang Xia remarked that if you do not awaken, his visit would only bring you harm, Lin Miao Miao interjected. "Thus he is currently praying at the Baihe Cemetery." Baihe Cemetery, the resting place of my elder brother. I could barely articulate. "I must go find him. I must go find them." "We shall accompany you, Aunt." Song K gently assisted me to sit up. "The car is already arranged." "Aunt, we will strive to do good in the future," Lin Miao Miao expressed, "so that your next life, and the lives to follow, will be filled with happiness. We will always stand by your side." He Yang draped a coat over my shoulders, murmuring, "Even if you were to cast me away, I would not leave." "Why would I cast you away?" I regained my composure. "Are you not angry? Initially, my brother adopted you all for my sake." "Aunt, regardless of the circumstances," Su Rutu interrupted, "Uncle Chunlai has raised us well, just as you have. Even if we were to give you more in return, it would be deserved. Moreover, meeting you, Aunt, is the most fortunate occurrence I have ever experienced." Zhuang Yu smiled at me. "I am immensely grateful to Uncle Chunlai." "So am I." "I feel the same way. Encountering you is the greatest fortune of my life." At the entrance of Baihe Cemetery, I found myself staring blankly at the young man not far away. Features that had eluded recognition for decades, a visage I longed to remember, yet always forgot, a void in my memories that could never be filled. At this moment, it was as vivid as the bold strokes of a painter's brush, so striking that it left me incredulous. My face blindness seemed to have lifted. "Xiao Qiu," he smiled, "long time no see." And behind him, the youth and maiden extended 5 hands adorned with red strings in perfect unison. "Aunt, guess who I am?" I turned my gaze back to the photo on the gravestone. The young man smiled gently, his features handsome, etched into certain scenes within my memory, without a doubt. This time, I finally recognized his face. The end of the story. Thank you for listening. We shall meet again in the next tale.